A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English. That's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A plus way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English.
Hello and welcome to A Plus English. I am Mike.
I'm Nikki.
And you didn't have to solve that. We just told you our names, right? No puzzles involved. But we are talking about logic, puzzle, and mystery games.
That's
and we're
called?
focusing on one called Murdle.
Murdle.
Which is one of the newest, probably popular online, invented by a writer named G.T. Carber. This is kind of a mixture of those murder mystery games, things like Clue, or what was the one you had? Code Names, and also Wordle, or those word search puzzle games that are popular both online in newspapers. And the good thing about these is you can do them anywhere. You can play them by yourself.
You don't internet. You can even have a book.
Exactly. You can have a book. You don't need to have other people to play it with. So you can play it while, waiting for the bus or, I don't know, going to the bathroom. Just be careful with your phone. And they also test your brain, which is great because so many things on the internet, like, scrolling through Instagram, it's not really getting your brain working in any way, right? So playing one of these games can be fun. And the coolest thing is they have new ones almost every day or probably every day.
Yeah,
right?
and
so
then you can learn a lot of new words.
You can learn a lot of new words, and every 365 days a year, you can challenge your brain. So we've learned a little bit about Murdle, how it works. You're going to have a crime. There are going to be some people there. You have to figure out who was where and when. And you make a grid, right? You kind of have like a game board. And one of the sort of special things about the game, or one of the rules of the game, is that each person, anyone who could be the criminal, the murderer, each person can only be in one square of the grid. And I guess if you follow the clues and use your brain, you'll figure out that it has to be this person. It can't be the other people.
Exactly. So who did it? Who committed the crime? 那待会我们的课文呢会看到一些线索，像是嫌疑犯、地点或者是其他的线索。那在这边我们进到今天的 teaching 之前呢，我有一个问题想要问大家，你们知道厨师的英文是什么吗？那待会会揭晓哦。
Solve crimes with Murdle.
Suspects.
Jenny usually teaches in the classroom. Tyson helps people find books in the library. Patrick cooks food in the school kitchen.
Locations.
Classroom. Students spend most of their time here. Library, full of books. Kitchen. Students' lunches come from here.
All right, so now we're kind of in the middle of our own game of Murdle. Let's see what's going on. Remember the crime from yesterday? We're at a school, and the key to the school safe has gone missing. So maybe someone lost the key. It just fell out of their pocket. But more likely, and hopefully for, the game, someone stole the key. Someone took that key. Maybe there's money in the safe, or since it's a school safe, maybe it's filled with all the exams from next week's big math test, and one of the students has stolen the key to try to get the answers. Anyways, it's a crime. We have to catch the person who did it, and that means we're going to have a few suspects. I say a few because if you only have one suspect, that makes solving the crime a little bit easier. You found the person standing next to the safe with the key in their hand. Who could it be? No, the suspects are the people who could have done the crime, who might have done the crime, who the police think may be the one guilty, but you can have more than one, and you can't just sort of go, well, we think it was you, so just go to jail. No, you have to prove it was them. And yes, people might have more than one suspect at the beginning, But then by looking at the clues, they can sort of say, okay, it's not that person because they were at home at that time or something like that. So let's look at our suspects. Let's look at the people who possibly could have done the crime. There's Jenny. It says Jenny usually teaches in the classroom. Oh, well, okay. If a person is often in that room where the crime was committed, there's a good chance it could be that I mean, maybe Jenny's a really nice person, but she was around there a lot, so she is definitely a suspect.
One of the suspects, exactly. So suspects 的是嫌疑犯, the person that is possible for committing the crime. So suspect number 1, Jenny. She teaches, so we also know that she's a teacher. Can teachers do something bad like this?
They could possibly, but then the question goes to motive. Why someone would do the crime? Why would the teacher steal the key to the safe? Doesn't the teacher have the key?
Already,
If the safe has all the answers to the questions for the exam, why does the teacher need those?
True.
She probably wrote the exam. You know, so motive, like why would this teacher steal from her own classroom? That seems a little weird. All right, let's move on to suspect number 2, Dierge. Tyson. Ooh, I don't like the name. No, I'm just joking. Tyson. Who's Tyson? Tyson helps people find books in the library.
Okay. So we have Tyson.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do it, but he might know where a lot of things in the school are.
A lot of secrets will be happening.
A lot of secrets, that's right. A lot, of knowledge in Tyson's brain. Okay.
So he's probably a librarian.
Good
他可能是一个图书馆馆员。
Okay, all right, Tyson. Now what about Patrick?
Patrick
is our third suspect. Patrick cooks food in the school kitchen. He's the school cook or chef.
So Patrick makes food. He cooks for students. It means that he sees students every day.
Okay, but why would he be stealing an exam or a key to it? Anyways, all right, so 3 suspects. They all have, you know, things that might make them guilty, or they also have things that kind of go, why would it be that person? Things that might show that they are innocent. They didn't do it. Now, another thing we have to consider as a detective, as a police officer, and as someone solving this Murdle problem, locations. And that means where, what place are we talking about? We're talking about, in this case, the classroom. It's at a school. This is in a classroom. And of course, the students spend most of their time here. Also, the teacher spends most of her time here. But I would say that Tyson and who is the cook? Patrick, they don't usually spend much time there. So
true.
if they were found in the classroom, that would be weird.
So locations 指的是地点的 place. So true, students are always in the classroom studying or taking classes.
Okay, now we have another location, the library. This could be where Tyson works. What is the library? Well, no surprise. The library is full of books.
So he has a lot of books in the library.
Yeah.
But is the safe in the library?
I don't know if the safe's in the library, but
know.
those books might have a lot of places to hide a key. Just put it in one of the books and stick it in the shelf. Okay, another location. And of course, that would be the kitchen, and students' lunches come from here.
So it must be a pretty busy place to be.
That's a really good point.
Right?
Cooks coming and going, students coming in and out, bringing food to the dining room or wherever.
Do they have time to steal?
There could be, and there's a lot of activity going on, so maybe someone's not watching carefully. Interesting.
Teach 这个动词指的是教导或者是教授，所以通常是知识或者是技能给他人，教给别人一些技能。那 teach 的动词3态分别为 teach, taught, taught. So you teach someone something, 你教某个人某一件事情 or you can teach a subject, 教一个科目 teach English, teach math. 那教授的人也就是老师嘛 teacher 这个名词 a person that teaches. So for example, my sister loves to teach English to children. 我姐姐喜欢教小孩英文。那单字例句看到 Dennis teaches English in a high school in Taipei. Dennis 在台北的一所高中教英文。那另外 full 这个形容词指的是充满的或者是布满的。Be full of something 加一个名词指的是充满很多东西，充满一个东西。那它可以形容容器、肚子或者是房间。So for example, the basket is full of fresh apples. 篮子里装满了新鲜的苹果。那单字例句 The sky is full of dark clouds. Maybe it's going to rain. 那天空布满乌云，可能快要下雨了。Let's get back to the article.
Clues.
A student saw Tyson talking to the class leader in the classroom this morning. Jenny said,
This morning, I went to the kitchen, but no one was there.
Someone found a button from a cook's apron on the library floor. The key to the school's safe is missing from the library desk drawer.
Who stole the key? Where did he or she steal the key?
All right, so now that we have our three suspects and our three locations, let's look at some of the clues that were found after the crime. It says a student saw Tyson talking to the class leader in the classroom this morning.
Okay.
Oh, so Tyson, who would normally work in the library, was seen in the classroom.
What's he doing there?
It's interesting, yes.
那线索呢有以下的几则，首先呢是有学生看到 Tyson 早上在教室跟班长聊天。
Jenny said this morning I went to the kitchen, but no one was there.
Okay.
Ooh, where's the cook? You would expect the cook to be in the kitchen preparing lunch, but no one was there.
So someone saw that the kitchen was empty. 那早上厨房是空的，没有人在那边。
All right, next we read, someone found a button from a cook's apron on the library floor.
Okay.
Not the classroom floor, but the library floor. They found a button from a cook's apron. And remember, the cook wasn't in the kitchen for some time.
那 apron 这个名词指的是围裙，所以也就是说，有人在图书馆的地上发现厨师围裙上的纽扣。那大家有没有听到关键字厨师呢？还记得我一开始问的问题吗？没错，那厨师的英文就是 cook. That's a huge lead. We have evidence. 竟然有人在图书馆的地上发现证据。
We do indeed. And it says the key to the school's safe is missing from the library desk drawer.
Okay.
So the library is where they found that the key was missing. That's where it should be, but it's not there now. And the cook's button was found, well, the cook, a button from a cook's apron was found in the library. That's very interesting.
Missing 这个形容词指的是消失的或是找不到的。那学校的保险箱钥匙在图书馆的书桌抽屉里不见了。That's pretty clear now, isn't it? Someone probably went to the library and took the key.
And it could have been when Tyson, the librarian, was in the classroom outside the library. So, who stole the key is the big question. And where did he or she steal the key? Those are the things we need to solve.
Leader 这个名词指的是领袖或者是领导人，甚至是带领团队或是组织的人。A good leader, a strong leader 指的就是好的领袖。You can be a team leader, class leader, or group leader 小队长或者是班长。So a good leader listens to the ideas of their team. 一个好的领导人就会倾听团队的想法。那单字例句 As a group leader, Tracy gives us jobs and speaks for our group. 身为小组长 Tracy 会分配工作，也代表我们发言。那 steal 这个动词指的是偷或者是窃取，过去时是 stole， 那过去分词是 stolen。那 steal 要加一个名词，指的是你偷某一个东西 ，steal from somebody, steal from a place， 从一个地方偷某一个东西，或者从谁那边偷一个东西。So someone tried to steal my bike last night. 昨晚有人想要偷我的脚踏车。那单字例句我们看到 Someone stole my wallet on the bus. I called the police when I noticed. 那有人在公车上呢偷走我的钱包，我发现后就报警了。那今天的 Magic Box 我们要来看一下 cook 的字义变义。那首先呢 cook 当动词的时候指的是烹调或者是煮饭，用火啊或者是加热让食物变熟。So you can cook breakfast, cook lunch, or cook dinner, cook rice, or you can learn to cook 学煮饭。Cook for somebody, someone 帮某个人为某个人煮饭。So for example, I usually cook dinner for my family. 我通常会为我的家人煮晚餐。那另外呢 cook 当名词的时候指的是厨师或者是一个工作用来煮饭的工作，不一定是高级的厨师，负责煮饭的人，特别是职业上的。So you can be a good cook or work as a cook, or you can be a home cook 家里的厨师 versus a chef 指的是餐厅的高级厨师。For example, he works as a cook in a small restaurant. 他在一间小餐厅当厨师。So now let's go to the review time.
Review time!
All right, we are going to leave the solving of the puzzle and the finding of the criminal to you guys. You can look at those clues we talked about and use your best logic to solve this crime. But what kind of other clues would you look for to solve a crime, both in a puzzle game or maybe in the real world?
I would say what people say or what doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you need a good memory.
Oh, yeah,
right?
true.
Because you have to remember what people say.
A lot of information.
Ask them the same questions later. Make sure their answers are the same, you know, that kind of thing. That is great, of course, if people can just make a mistake and you can catch them in a lie.
When they lie, exactly.
That is much easier. But of course, you can also look for physical clues, right? We mentioned evidence, hairs, fingerprints, things like that. And also, I guess, people's behavior.
Oh.
Were they acting nervous? Were they suddenly missing for some time? Kind of like with some of our characters there. Were they in weird places when they wouldn't normally be in those places? But again, that can always just be coincidence. It could be bad luck.
巧合.
Just because someone is somewhere they're not normally found doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong there.
So a lot to think about.
A lot to think about. Also kind of shows you how difficult it is to be a real police officer.
Yeah.
And how murder mystery books or television shows, they make it easy, right? Like on a TV show, they always have the crime and they pretty much always catch the bad guy an hour later at the end of the show. But of course, in the real world, police work. It takes years and sometimes crimes are just not solved, right? Because, you know, they don't find the clues they need to catch the criminal. All right, guys, well, good luck with that and everything else, and we'll see you back here soon.
那今天的节目就到这边啦。想要跟真人老师1对1线上讨论吗？欢迎加入空中家教。